I'm Prabhu from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune in to Today FM in National Light Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inaya Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Tonight, sugar industry talks look at areas that need improvement. Ratu Inoke Kumbombola pays courtesy call to Fiji police force. And government grants to improve conditions in senior citizens' homes. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has cleared the air on reports he gave New Zealand Prime Minister John Key a hard time on his visit to Fiji in June this year. Speaking at the Trade and Investment Symposium meeting in Auckland this morning, Bainimarama said it's unfortunate that overseas media thought his speech at the Joint Business Council Forum last month was disrespectful. Kelly Vadala reports.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says he and New Zealand counterpart John Key get on famously and appreciate honest discussions.
He knows that I'm frank by name and frank by nature. And I know that he's a civilly plain speaking Kiwi, which is undoubtedly why the New Zealand people keep voting him back into office. So we're big enough to say what we think and then move on. And I want to thank him for being a straight shooter, for not taking things too personally.
The Prime Minister says a series of public verbal retaliations haven't burnt any bridges.
It's true that I've had a couple of issues with him, saying that I had shot my mouth off about Pacific Islands Forum, that he hoped we weren't going to be silly about enforcing the provision of our public order. But it hasn't unduly affected the warmth of our relationship.
Bainimarama has encouraged New Zealand businesses to explore opportunities in Fiji, enjoy the hospitality of the tourism sector and take advantage of a productive workforce. Politics should not hinder business progress.
I also said that it was a shame that New Zealand, Australia and certain other countries had failed to understand what we were trying to do, which was trying to introduce genuine democracy for the first time in Fiji and guarantee the rights of every Fijian in the 2013 Constitution. Yet far from being the insult that some members of the media chose to cast it as, I think John Key understood that the speech I made was merely outlining a position and that no disrespect was intended.
Trade between the two countries is worth almost 700 million Fijian dollars a year. Bainimarama will have a second bilateral meeting with John Key in Wellington on Saturday. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
More work is needed to ensure projects funded by the European Union in the sugar sector are achieving their goals. The Programme Steering Committee of the EU on accompanying measures for the Sugar Protocol Programme met in Lautoka today to identify areas in need of improvement. Ellen Stolz tells us more.
Chairing the meeting this morning, EU Ambassador to Fiji Andrew Jacobs says a lot of progress has been made following the discussions.
This was a great opportunity really to define where more work needs to be put in. There's a lot more work to be done, and we were able to discuss with the implementing partners where they need to concentrate their efforts.
A key function of the committee is to ease the impact of EU sugar reforms on traditional cane sugar trading partners and prepare growers and the industry as a whole for adjustments and future market challenges. This includes the removal of preferential treatment of Fiji sugar by the European Union.
October 2017, the European Union market is going to become much more price competitive, and there's a lot to be done in order to help increase competitiveness of the Fiji sugar industry during this remaining period.
Co-chairing the meeting, Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says the meeting provided useful insight.
So it was a good opportunity for government to also be able to see how these agencies are performing where there are areas that could be improved upon, and also from government's perspective we were able to provide some insight in respect of how we can probably provide assistance to these agencies to help better coordinate and also to be able to get an expeditious outcome.
The committee will reconvene next April to examine the progress made towards goals outlined today. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum says Abdul Khan's resignation as CEO of the Fiji Sugar Corporation will not affect the company's day-to-day operations. Said Qayyum says Khan resigned due to pressing health issues and the FSC will be advertising the CEO post soon. The acting PM adds he is hopeful that the right person for the job will come along.
The fact is we do have an acting CEO, so it's not as if because the CEO is left that everything will come to a standstill. It will continue. But again, as you know, that the mills do operate, very much on their own. We believe that there is enough, human resources on the ground to ensure that there won't be any lapses because of the resignation of the CEO.
Minister for Defence and National Security Ratuinoke Kumbombola paid a courtesy call to the Fiji Police Headquarters in Laudala Beach, Nasinu, this morning. Ratuinoke assured Commissioner of Police Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilio that he will always be ready to assist the force. The minister says he is keen on strengthening advocacy on community policing. Kumbombola says he can also work with faith-based organizations, NGOs and different communities.
From my own perspective is that I think there's a breakdown of our family values that we need to encourage faith-based organizations to go back to the basics, to teach the families and the parents to look after their children. They seem to transfer that responsibility to the schools when it should be done at home. It should be done at home.
Fijian Holdings Limited expects assets to cross the $500 million mark in 3 years. This was highlighted by Group Chief Executive Nozab Farid during the annual general meeting in Suva this morning. Rachel Nath reports.
The Fijian Holdings Limited Group has over 1,200 shareholders. In the last 12 months, it made a $22 million profit, 66% more than the last financial year.
Our total assets are 475 million. I have assured the shareholders we are going forward within next 3 years or so we might touch 600 million. The revenue is growing, our profitability is growing. We need to continue to focus on where we are going to invest.
Shareholders had an interactive session with the board members to discuss the future of the company.
We are about to reach 300 million revenue. We could have last year if not for the sale of Sky Pacific and Media New Guinea. And even without that, we touched almost 300 million.
The FHL Group has a total of 15 subsidiaries and is listed on the South Pacific Stock Exchange. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, lack of interest in Fiji TV shares. And Mika Singh ends Fiji tour on a high note. Stay with us.
Kita wani laki-laki lo menikoro dau vinakavio na va Mambul FM ni ronto vinkarabio ben hilo po viroro ozo na Mambul FM number 2 na share
iyo Mambul bina tangu epeli untuk taliten na porong Mambul FM na bu
number 2 tinanga Mambul FM no sur Mambul FM number 2 na share
mula sia puni va ulambasa na da ko Vila Merikibi Mambul FM number 2 na share Talita itu ngai lepas.
Bula FM number 2 and share.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The misappropriation of funds from the Fiji Commerce Commission was questioned by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee today. Commission Chair Joanne Young explained the money was taken by a former employee 5 years ago.
We had an accountant who had fraudulently debited more than 16,000 in 2009 from the Commission's bank account to his personal bank account. It is noted that during that time, the Commission was operating without a CEO, and therefore we accept that there were not proper controls put in place.
251 nursing positions remain vacant, and this is affecting health services across Fiji. Minister for Health and Medical Services Rosie Akbar says they have advertised positions. Rachel Nath reports.
The shortage of nurses is having a negative effect on the larger hospitals.
It depends where you are, and it all depends on the population that we serve. So those areas that have a high population density, obviously these issues will be there.
Adds intense workloads and long hours sometimes lead to nurses becoming complacent.
For too long, I think we have been faced with chronic issues, and that's why we are not moving forward. So maybe we need to re-strategize, regroup, rethink, and move forward with more vigor, more energy, more passion.
The ministry is also looking for specialized nurses, which has been a problem for some time now. The sector has been told to work towards excellence and change the perception of the industry.
Complaints from the public, they go in and they come out more frustrated, whatever reasons. Okay, so as nurses, as senior managers, I think that human touch is very important.
Akbar reminded the nurses to continue to work with passion and loyalty towards the health sector. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The Itaukei Affairs Ministry will work with Fiji's consular officers to promote the services of the ministry. Director for Institute of Language and Culture, Emin Bainimarama, says much of the Itaukei community overseas want to learn about their culture. Savara Tambua has more.
Teams have recently returned from Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom, but less than 100 people turned up.
A concern that was raised by most of those that we had served is that they were not aware that the Itaukei team were there to bring the services to them. So this is something we had also discussed with the embassy personnel while we were there, and through proper procedures we think that is how we are going to strengthen the relationship.
The Itaukei Affairs Ministry is taking its services overseas, allowing former Fijian citizens to update their records. It's also providing information on Itaukei traditions and culture for those who've been away from home or have ties to Fiji.
They were very happy that the government had taken the services across. And they were also relieved, particularly for the VKB registration. They pay so much money to come to Fiji just to register their children and go back.
Officers who've returned from the 3 consulates says former Fiji citizens are entrusted to learn about their land and other issues.
The government services that were inquired upon by the community in Sydney, we were also able to get down the complaints or the issues that they raised, which will be referred to the relevant ministries.
Members of the Itaukei community overseas will be encouraged to attend information sessions and also take advantage of services offered. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
5 senior citizen homes can start work on improving facilities with a $10,000 grant from the Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation. Permanent Secretary Dr. Josefa Koroevueta says they will continue to support these homes. Ana Ravulo reports.
The grant will go a long way in improving the lives of elderly Fijians who are under the care of the state. Dr. Josefa Koroevueta says senior citizens' homes can't be left on the wayside as Fiji progresses.
Your work, we want to say, has done a lot of good. I think it's brought comfort to the older persons and also has given them, a breath of life when some of them have been neglected, abandoned by the people that they have built over the years.
The Senior Citizens Community Centre in Ba, which looks after 80 people, has welcomed the $10,000 funding from the government.
This grant is for our administration costs, is for the rental, and is for the food and tea that we provide during the weeks.
One of the things the ministry is trying to do now is reunite the senior citizens with their families, and some have been taken back home. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
The Biosecurity Authority of Fiji and Animals Fiji have signed a memorandum of understanding to try and improve veterinary services and animal disease reporting. Biosecurity Fiji Chief Executive Xavier Khan says the MOU is important for reducing the chances of spreading diseases such as rabies. Savara Tamboa has more.
Biosecurity Agency is serious about animal welfare and is putting in efforts to ensure animal health and protection is enhanced.
Using the services of Animals Fiji in terms of disease reporting and also able to identify any new disease outbreak also would help in terms of disease management and also the reporting and holistically improving the veterinary services.
Animals Fiji Managing Trustee KZ Gwimbi says that the MOU signed today will also allow them to share information to biosecurity issues.
We are the hands on the ground to get the information, ensuring that we're collecting data, doing testing for certain diseases and making sure that we're reporting back and working in alignment with them.
The MOU will help prevent new diseases coming into Fiji as well as track and treat all animal diseases already present in the country. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Bollywood singer Mika Singh put on a show to remember in his final performance in Fiji. The Nandi show had fans jumping on stage and dancing to the music. Ellen Stolz with this story.
Hundreds, if not thousands of people packed into Prince Charles Park to get a glimpse of singer Mika Singh, and he did not disappoint them. Fans made the most of the night, loving the music and climbing on stage with Mika Singh.
So this is my second concert and it's going really good, and hope to see you soon, guys. But thank you so much for coming here and giving me your precious time. And इतना मज़ा आ रहा है यहाँ पे कि पहला शो हमारा रॉक हुआ, सुपर हिट गया, and दूसरा यहाँ पे फिर सुपर हिट शो जा रहा है.
An open-air concert in Nandi was a bit of a worry for the Bollywood star, but it all fell into place perfectly.
And पहले थोड़ा सा we were worried about raining, but thank God अभी रेन नहीं हो रहा है and बारिश नहीं हो रही, तो show is going successfully ahead.
Singh says he hopes to return to Fiji every few years for more concerts. And if this response is anything to go by, the future looks bright for Singh. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Nakajaki and good evening. In sports, after the break, Fijiana prepare for World Cup qualifier. And primary schools IDC kicks off. This and more coming up.
मैं जुगेन नबील तालिब से रेडियो फीजी 2 24 घंटे मेरे साथ साथ रहता है.
हम अंगेरी ताउका के ललिश है. हमारे दिल में और दिमाग में खाली रेडियो फीजी 2 है और सभी भाइयों से आग्रह करते हैं कि रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनना चाहिए.
मेरा नाम अभिनेश है, मैं निंदी का रहने वाला हूँ. मैं सभी समय रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें आईना प्रोग्राम रहता है.
हाय, मैं उमेश नसासा नाबुआ से. मैं जब
The Fijiana 15's rugby team continues to prepare for the World Cup qualifier against Papua New Guinea in November. Meli Tavanga caught up with the girls at the Uprising Beach Resort today and filed this report.
The battle is on for 26 spots in the final squad, and each of these players is giving their everything. Former Fijiana Sevens player Tavai Tarowati may have an upper hand with experience in the international arena, but she is still finding it tough.
Trying hard and trying to maintain the fitness and blend well with the teammates.
Tarowati, who represented the Fijiana Sevens team in the 2013 World Cup and 2014 and 15 Sevens series, says switching from Sevens to 15s rugby is a challenge.
Sevens a lot, since this is an opportunity for 15s squad to be represented in the World Cup. I think it's a good opportunity for me to be part of history.
A new face in the training squad, 28-year-old Vinyana Simmons says she is working hard in claiming her spot.
I'm looking forward to just to try out and be part of the team. It's the first time for me and just so thankful of it.
These girls are trying hard to book a spot in the final squad. but it'll depend on their level of fitness. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
Australian swimmers dominated the first day of the Mana Ocean Swim at Mana Island Resort today. This morning, 19-year-old Ollie Signorini won the 10-kilometer race in 2 hours, 30 minutes and 35 seconds. Signorini says the race got much tougher as he approached the finishing mark.
It was tough. Definitely swimming on the back straight, we had a bit of current and wind against us, so it was very choppy. And I definitely felt like I was going very slow on that bit, but I was going as fast as I could. But then when we had the wind, it was much easier, and I felt like I was going a lot quicker.
Another Australian swimmer won the female division in the 10-kilometer race this morning. 21-year-old Sophia Jensen was the first female and second swimmer overall to finish the long-distance race. Jensen, who also won the big swim competition in Australia earlier this year, credits her success to hard work and dedication.
When we started, it was really clear, and then because it rained last night, I thought it was going to be a little bit murky, but it was fine. And then probably coming down this way through the last buoy, that was when it was the clearest.
The 5, 3 and 1 kilometer races will be held on Saturday. Right now we cross live to Vasnil Prasad on Mana Island. Vasnil, how was the first day of competition?
Yes, Jamie, the day one of the event here at the Mana Island has successfully been completed. And yes, as you have heard, the Australian swimmers have dominated the event here. This competition is a yearly based competition and has grown weekly and has grown yearly by yearly. And I got the organizer, Mr. Paul, here to explain more. Mr. Paul, how big is this competition now? And this year's turnout is something else apart from the previous years?
Well, that's right. We've had about a 50% increase in the number of solo swimmers in our 10-kilometre swim today. So last year we had about 17, this year we had 25. And not a huge race by Australian standards, but it's a very healthy growth. And especially at the 10-kilometre distance, because 10-kilometre swims don't pull as many people as the shorter swims do in Australia. So it's been a very good increase.
The winners here, Ollie and Sophia, probably have booked up place in the one of the top races coming in Australia in February.
Yeah, they are nationally ranked swimmers in Australia, and they haven't been on the international circuit because they're students. But they are of international standard. Ollie Signorini has been winning races on the ocean swimming circuit in Sydney for some years now, and Sophia is up there with him in terms of standard. They're very good swimmers.
Events on Saturday, would like to tell us what all will be there and when the markers will go out and mark the places where races will be happening?
Sure, on Saturday we have 3 distances. We have 1 kilometre, 3 kilometres and 5 kilometres. And so if you came to Mana and did the 10 kilometres today, you could do the 1 kilometre and 5 on Saturday, and you'll have swum 16 kilometres over the course of 3 days. So it's a pretty good challenge for swimmers to come to. It's very attractive to them.
Here you go, the challenge is laid by the organizer already, but it's on the swimmers, how they perform on the swimming day come Saturday, Jamie.
Thanks for that, Vasnil. The 41st Primary Schools Vodafone Inter-District Championships kicked off at Nausori's Ratu Dakambau Park today. Minister for Education, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, was on hand to open the 3-day event. Rohit Deo was in Nausori and filed this report.
28 teams will compete at this year's Primary Schools IDC. Chief Guest Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy's message was clear.
Physical exercise, sporting in particular, and football in particular, contributes to body fitness. I always tell my friends that I see soccer as a game which contributes to agility and fitness of players. Most games require children to sprint after the ball and jog up and down the field, which are activities that build endurance and speed.
Mr. Reddy also reminded the officials of the importance of proper organization.
After the game is over, after the trophy award is given, schools then will run around complaining that this player was not properly registered, this player should not be playing there, etc., etc. I believe is this, whatever we have with regard to the team competition, it should be done and dusted and settled before the game is played.
Fiji Primary Schools football president Amit Chan elaborated the purpose of the games.
Officials and players from different districts, which enables them to learn from experiences, build relationships and practice good sportsmanship. Values of MOE and keep the students safe.
In the opening round of matches today, in the under 14 division, Rewa edged the Bua 1-0, while defending champion Senganga and Raki Raki played to a 2-2 draw. In the under 12 grade, Lambasa beat Nasinu 2-1. Pool matches continue tomorrow with the finals to be played on Saturday. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
The Rewa football side edged Suva 2-1 in the Vodafone Premier League competition last night. Peter Rambo had put Suva ahead in the first half, but goals by Simeone Tamnisau and Epeli Saukuru secured the Delta Tigers a crucial 3 points on the league standings. The win puts Rewa in second spot with 16 points, while Mba leads with 19. Meanwhile, Mba will host Suva at 7:30 p.m. at Govind Park tomorrow. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
Fiji Television Limited shares price on the South Pacific Stock Exchange has dropped to $1. Group Chief Executive Nozar Farid says there is a general lack of interest in the company, but things will change.
So I was told that there is not willing buyers for Fiji TV. Fiji TV is going through a challenging time, but we are very confident our team can turn around this company. So if you wait for give me another 1 or 2 years, you will see Fiji TV will become a good competitor for FBC TV.
It was a bright, warm, sunny day across most of Fiji. Looking at the temperatures, Lambasa hit 33 degrees while other centres were in the low 30s, leaving Sabu and Suva mild at 29. Tomorrow is forecast to be much like today, sunny, some clouds and a chance of afternoon showers. And the further outlook, we're looking on to Saturday. The eastern areas of Fiji can expect sunlit skies while wet conditions are forecast in the north. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots and moderate seas. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says relations with New Zealand are stable. Sugar industry talks look at areas which need improvement, and Defence Minister pays courtesy call to Fiji Police Force. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. This week's poll question we are asking: should the ban on fireworks be eased this year? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakiriki Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.